Believe we're live. Hello, everyone. It is Kenyon here. It is Basketball Rewind. Coach, I hope that you can hear me. So, this is kind of a little bit of a test before we really get the show rocking. The Raptors today are starting the season. They are undefeated, people. This is a great start, great way to, yeah, 1-0. A great way to start the season. We're just going to get right into it. I watched the majority of the game except for a little small sliver of the second quarter at the very start of the second quarter. But other than that, I watched it basically from the jump all the way through. So let's get into it. Just in terms of the first quarter, I thought that they started off. It was a little bit slow offensively to get it going, but they were kind of hanging in there. And then suddenly they kind of broke out. I think at one point, it was about 16, 17 to 10 in favor of the Raptors. That was a really good start by them. So once they started scoring, Brent Ingram, I believe, had their first points. He came off a curl several times this game, but definitely
Several, yeah.
yeah, several times. But to start off the game, that's how he got started, and that was really just a great way to get his offense. I thought he did a good job of rebounding the ball. He ended up the night with 16 points. A little bit too turnover happy, but hey, it's early in the season. But really, where he kind of locked in there was, of course, the rebounds and the points. 16 points on 43%. We could bump it up to 44% efficiency. He could be a little bit more efficient, but he is the guy that is carrying the offense at the end of the day. And then, of course, I'm just going to go through a couple more, and then I'll pass it on to Coach. Scotty Barnes filled it up. From a little bit rocky again to start things off, but throughout the night he kind of built on what we saw on the Nets game. 0 threes. That's perfect. 9 for 14. He's playing on the inside. I don't want to hear any sort of. If I look at his shot chart, right, I don't want to hear people say he's a point guard, all this type of stuff, or a guard when this is the way that he's going to play and he's going to be thriving. So, from that standpoint, I thought he was great. We have Beyond on stage joining us, of course. And yeah, I just thought he was great. Throughout, I thought that once they got through to about halftime, it felt like they had a sizable control of the overall game, and they never really let go. And that's that. Finally, they beat. I mean, just the score alone, 138 to 118 is the mark. They out rebounded the Hawks. So for yes, we always mention the size of the Raptors, but the Raptors out rebounded them. Hey,
You
Beyond.
hear is Kenyon speaking?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear
I
you.
don't hear him. Okay.
Can you tell him I can hear him?
Yeah, he can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, 60 to 44. And I totally agree with this for sure. Got to cut back on the turnovers, 20 turnovers to 15. Coach, I've been talking a while. I'm going to tap you in, and then since Beyond can hear you, we'll pass the ball to Beyond.
Okay. Great first game home opener. Usually there's a lot of jitters. Usually the execution on offense and defense is not very good from either side, quite honestly. But the Raptors played a game tonight. I thought it was like they were in midseason form and all the wheels were turning in the right direction. RJ Barrett really got this team going early with his aggressiveness, going to the hoop. Getting Dyson Daniels in foul trouble is a massive, massive thing to do. I think he had 3 fouls very early. He had 5 fouls, I think, in the third quarter. So just getting him out of the game, it hurts Atlanta. He's an all-defense player, and it certainly helps Toronto. Scotty, I know Scotty had a very good game tonight. I tweeted about how he had no 3-point attempts. Darko was telling him or promoting that he should take 10 threes a game last year. I just felt that kind of, ruined what he can do. He was very aggressive tonight, going to the hoop. On the break, he was fine, making big passes. That type of aggression and what he can do. I'm guessing you have the shot chart up for him tonight, or is that just the Raptors?
Just him on the left-hand side. So right here, I don't know if you can see my cursor,
Yeah.
but this is Scotty Barnes' shot chart right
Look at
there.
that.
So you can see
all within 18 feet.
right,
So-
exactly.
Remember when I said during the WNBA finals, I said he should pattern his game against like Alyssa Thomas?
Yes.
I'm sure if you go and grab Alyssa Thomas shot chart, it looks just like that.
Yeah.
15 in.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
you can
but
see, and look right in the paint. It's right there is where he's thriving.
Yep. No, that was a very good game by him tonight. I think he had a block and a steal as well. 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 22 points. I think he was 9 of 14 from the field. Did I read that correctly? Yes, 9 of 14 from the field, plus 9. Scotty had an excellent game. He was. I thought it was certainly one of the better games I've seen him play over the last year or so. He had a couple last year I really liked against Orlando and New Orleans, and I thought tonight's game was similar to that. Nothing was forced from him. I never felt that anything was forced, and that's always a good thing, and that consistency. Grady Dick off the bench. Grady brought a big-time scoring punch. He was attacking the rim, getting it from 3. Grady looked very good tonight. And Mamu, my favorite acquisition of the offseason. I think he had the highest plus minus on the team? No. Yes, he did. He was plus 21. 101 from 3. He was just steady out there. I think he brings this bit of a steadiness that I've appreciated so far. No offense to Kelly Olynyk, but this guy is a lot better than Kelly Olynyk. Mainly it's the mobility that he has on offense, and the handle actually is much better than I anticipate, and the athleticism, quite honestly. So I was impressed with him. Quickly towards the end of the game, I thought was much better than at the start of the game. He was getting some of his offense inside, making some tough shots. He was 0-7 from 3, but you know what? If he's 0-7 from 3, I'd rather him that than like Scotty or CMB or any of those guys. I want the guy who typically has a history of making lots of 3-pointers. And the last point I'll make, and you mentioned it, Kenyon, Brandon Ingram catching the ball off a curl cut across the lane. I don't remember the last time we've had a guy who can do that. He did it multiple times tonight over Porzingis, who's 7'3". So this is big time when you have a player who can do that, because it opens up the game for everybody else. And I think that's kind of what happened with RJ and Scotty tonight. And Grady, because Ingram was with the bench unit.
Do you want to pass the ball to Beyond? Says he can't hear me.
Beyond, can you hear him yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good now. Yeah, I was just a little internet.
I'm like DJ Cassie. I'm going to pass the mic to Beyond. You know?
Where's your hat? Where's your hat?
Yes.
Right.
I was honestly I didn't watch the first half, so just to to give some integrity, I was obviously kind of taking a look at the score and stuff like that. But when I watched the second half, what I saw, you guys all said, it was really good to see. The ball movement was great. As I said before, the first half, I'm sitting there going based on the score and the stats in this case that our friend Nelly gave us, it felt like a typical Raptors game I've seen before, where the collapse happens in the fourth quarter. But in this case, it did not. As I said in my comments on the space just now, the thing I'm going to really start charting about is looking at what this bench looks like, because that was the one thing that was consistent throughout the entire preseason was the bench. And to me, that's when the game broke open with the bench. Because it was a 3-possession, sometimes a 4-possession game, sometimes a 2-possession game. Let's put it this way: it was within Trae Young reach. Let's put it that way. The fourth quarter, at that point, midway through the third, and the bench came, and before you blinked, by the end of the third, it was a wrap. So, and that unit with Mamu and Grady, gotta give Shed his due too. Like that group is it's cohesive, and they all make sense on the floor together. And I think that's one of the things where I love the fact that at least if Grady's going to be on there, oh my gosh, Wemby's right now just beasting my team right now. But that's a whole other thing. Good Lord. It's like the Kraken's been open.
Man, if I can put that on.
I was hold it back for a year.
Don't worry. We won't take too long here.
PD's doing it on too, damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to our regularly scheduled program. But what I was saying was, but Grady being featured now, Grady could go out there and do his thing, and like everyone, I understand. We talked about yesterday. I don't understand how people so down on Grady's season last year. I thought he had a real nice season. Folks killing this man. Like if this dude is like some type of bust, I'm like, you see what he did last year? And yeah,
there's a recency bias, right? Like people look at just the last portion of the season, which wasn't the best for him, but wasn't like, but overall, even with a down like post All-Star, pre All-Star, he was 18 points a night.
Right. On amazing efficiency. Like I'm sitting there going, guys, man, like what are we talking about here for a second-year dude? And now he comes out here tonight, he's blistering, and once again, he's the only dude in this case besides RJ could draw fouls. He ended up leading the team with free throw attempts, 8. And if that dude who can shoot about 85 to 90% from the free throw line can get to the line 6 to 8 times, then it's like, one thing out, and I think people keep on pigeonholing him as just as a spot up shooter. That dude's a flat scorer, man, and he has the symptoms of a scorer. Scorers know how to get the line. Okay.
He had 4 shots from 3, which is fine. Here's the key with Grady. 8 times going to the line. He got to the line more than anyone else. And we know because even in his first year, he's basically a 90% shooter. We haven't seen someone shoot like that from the free throw line since Jose Calderon.
Yeah. Like, he's a fantastic free throw shooter. I mean, that's DeMar DeRozan-esque type of stuff. 8 times the line, shooting about 88% from the free throw line. Yeah.
21 points on 10 shots.
That's good.
Yeah. It's great. Like, I mean, like, and if he could get, why I say a hashtag free Grady is, yes, it was a route, but I want him every night getting about 28 to 30 minutes. Like, I don't want this thing about 23 minutes a night business. I don't want that. I want, you got to get me in there 5-6 minutes.
No. He's like at this point, when CMB's back, I think Ochai's minutes are gone, more than likely.
Oh, yeah, they have to be, because then that second unit, you're going to need someone who can play defense. I'm not saying Ochai can't, but CMB is just better at it, stuff like that. You'll have more pressure. You'll have more pressure at the rim, which you can open up for Grady and Ingram.
There's also another possibility, which I'm not sure if Darko, since everyone likes to do experimenting, but it seems like the experimenting only happens for one player. But I would love in this case here, if they actually, when CMB comes back, we run a little pick and roll with he and Grady. I like to see what that looks like.
I'd like to see that.
That'd be nice too. There's a lot of things that you can do. So we're definitely seeing where things come together. I really want to touch on the Hawks real quick. I think the real challenge beyond, I mean, Trae Young didn't have the best shooting night, but he still got to the line 13 times. So that's how it's like, okay, that's how you get 14 shots up. You only make 5 of them, but you're still scoring 22 points. But the thing is that my man let me down today. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Shay's cousin, he was not good. He was 2 for 15. He had the equivalent of, I can't say the equivalent because Quickly did not have a good night. He was basically Quickly tonight because Quickly was not good either. Quickly was 0 for 6, and that's what everyone harps on him for is that, shooting. You got to shoot like a shooting guard. And if you're shooting 0 for 6, that is not good enough. You were going to say.
Well, let's lock in on IQ for a second, man. Mm-hmm. And why do we think in this case he struggled so much while everyone else was out there celebrating, having a good time tonight? He was the one guy that seemed to be like what the heck's going on? So what's your assessment of why he had a rough night tonight?
I think if things are going to work, there's a world where a lot of the people in the starting lineup need to find a role and stick to it. And if they stick to it and they stick to the plan and there's, we lost Beyond, I'll just continue on, and there's zero room for error, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a situation where everyone kind of fits into their role reasonably well. And I'm just going to add Beyond back. So they're going to be able to fit into he's not up just yet. They're going to be able to fit into their role reasonably well. And then Quickly is going to potentially be the odd man out. Now, most people will not believe me when I say that. But in my opinion, if he's going to be a shooting guard, in theory, there's better shooting guards on this team that can do a whole heck of a lot more than what Quickly can do. Now, defensively, there's a whole other discussion there, but quickly ain't no stalwart defender, and he's 6'3". So I'm not expecting him to stop other guys shooting guards. So yeah.
I don't know where he's going to find his shots besides 3-point shots. And it's a hard, steady diet in this case if you're not like Steph Curry or Klay Thompson to be shooting that many threes.
Now he did distribute the ball decently well. For today, he got 8 assists, 3 turnovers. I know that doesn't depict the entirety of what we're talking about, but I thought he did a good job of not just, but you can't be trying to do the Fred VanVleet role type thing and have it work with this offense. I just don't think that you need a little bit more. So he is going to have a tough time this year if he's going to be playing how he played throughout preseason until now. It has not been impressive. And I know that everyone harps on the shooting, but you need to give me more than that because you're paid to actually be a point guard and a starting level point guard.
I never had an issue with his shooting tonight. I thought he just missed some. He had some good looks. They just didn't go down. I can live with some of his missed shots tonight because I know he's got a history of being a 38 to 40% 3-point shooting. It's too bad some of them didn't go down. But like you said, he's not going to be John Stockton out there. That kind of era of point guard, unfortunately, it's gone. He is a combo guard, but at the same time,
can you be Bill Stockton, coach?
I know, but no, I didn't really like. I get the things with quickly, things like that, but I never really had too much of an issue time. Truthfully, I never had an issue. Like I get certainly what people are saying, but some of those shots will go down for him.
He did get into the paint tonight, which is good, and that's where most of his things came from. Oh, one other thing about Scotty I do want to say. How did he get most of his points? It was in transition. It wasn't him like give me the ball and let me like try to figure it. Like no, it was him going into spots, him screening, him cutting. That is if he's going to be more off ball, as I think I saw Samson Folk tweet out, it's not a demotion, it's basketball. That's a perfect way to put
it. He put that. Yeah.
You want to be a winning player? You gotta play in the right spots, and it shouldn't matter. If I were him, I would cut out. I'm not him, but I would cut out all the noise of people saying that you're this, you're that, you're whatever. If he truly wants to, as he said it today, or was it yesterday? He said, I said on Twitch, people watch my streams. I want all the awards. If you want all the awards, you got to play, as they say, he plays the right way, then you got to play the right way. And this, tonight, that was playing the right way.
Absolutely it was. And here's an interesting stat. Scotty and RJ were perfect from the free throw line tonight. Even RJ was perfect. And when you had Grady in the mix, they were 16 to 17 from the free throw line. Who would have guessed Grady missed the only free throw of those three?
Yes.
Not many people would guess it. They said RJ probably missed one, or maybe it was Scotty. But when Scotty and RJ, then they shot 100% from the free throw line. I don't know if that's happened, but with the two of them each doing that, especially RJ.
You're saying that the what is the system that the Raptors have in their training facility?
Hey man, did they get rid of the Noah board or something?
Yeah, it's the Noah board. Maybe their Noah board subscription got updated.
I don't know. Maybe they should order the Chip England board. He's the best shooting coach in the league, or he always used to be.
Right.
They tossed out in the Lake Ontario, man. That damn Noah board.
I gotta tweet that out. That's a good one.
Quick question: is there anything else that you want to talk about when it comes to this game, or can we zoom across the NBA real quick and then get it out of here?
I mean, this game there's really not much to say from the standpoint. Like, I'm still not sold on what we see from Scotty yet, because to your point, he feasted on a lot of transition. I'm not sure when they play against certain teams that have more length and actually play more half court, what he's going to look like. So I'm just holding back on the ticker tape parade just yet on that one with him. And we'll see when it gets that what it looks like. But hey, good on him for tonight. I like where he got the shots from, but it's a wait and see with him. But yeah, there's a few things around the league, boy, where it's like, woo. Yeah, boy.
They definitely got to also one final thing. I know that they play an aggressive style of defense. They might one thing to watch out for is some of these guys are going to foul out routinely, and I'd be mindful of that as well in terms of game management. From the Raptor standpoint, I would just like a Scotty. I think Pascal actually had this issue a couple of years back where he had to be like, they had to talk with him, and I remember he was like, I have to remember that I'm the most important guy on the floor.
Mhm.
For Scott, he has to remember that, like, especially defensively, like, he is one of the more important guys on the floor. And so, if he's gonna have the impact that he's gonna have defensively, and that's gonna feed into his offense, that's fine. But um he has to play a little bit more disciplined from that standpoint, as does the entirety of the team as well. All right, let's zoom around. I want to first talk about Philly. We got to talk about Philly.
We got to talk about your guy Beyond.
Yeah, he's not alone. He's not alone on that bus. I'll say that.
No. You'll come over here now. You'll come over here now. Because what I was talking about.
Whoa. You're saying me?
I'm saying you, because when we have these discussions, you were in shock. I said I would take him if you gave me true, sir. I would take him in this case over Dylan Harper.
Okay. Saying, I thought you were acting like I'm not a VJ fan.
No.
Let's slow roll that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we keep that buck in this case, man. I watch your man right now play right now, man. He look okay right now. It's a good pick for Wemby. All right, but man. Pretty nice pass here too, but go to VJ, man. Let me hear about my man.
Yeah, we all VJ fans, but Beyond is like driving the bus for VJ.
Yes,
we just are the front seats.
Yes. Now, I mean, all I'll say is, Harper is 50% from the field today. But, this is about VJ though, who is also 50%. He was, 26 shots. Talk about a man that is not afraid to get his. Okay, and made 50% of him. Shot from 3 13 times. I know people are going to harp, oh, that's too many threes. I don't care. Okay, I don't care. He does need to work on his handle. We know what his weaknesses are, but he is going to work and work and work. He is one hard-working dude.
Remember, we had the discussions during the draft talks, and we all agreed on this. And and this is where I don't want to kill Scotty on this, but when we talk about certain mindset that in this case is not given to folks, they just go in and take it. Now he came in there and he saw a league MVP and he said, like, well, who's you? Like Mr. minus 16 today, wherever he was, MB. Yo, man. 9. No, man, move aside. Move aside.
No, but when the draft came up, and I saw Philly had the third pick, I said to you guys, Nick Nurse is not passing on VJ Edgecombe. Absolutely not. Not even with Ace on the board, all of Ace's abilities. That is just Nick Nurse player with him right there.
Yeah. Because there was one other possibility that was potentially there, that it depended on a certain person's knees. But they went with VJ. They went with the man. They said, no, we are going with him. And that's respect. Much respect.
Absolutely. They get a backcourt now, Maxey and VJ, for the next 5, 6, 7 years, whatever. That's going to be exciting in Philly, man. And it's
34 points on 50% from the field, almost 40% from deep on his first outing. I know a lot of people compared him to, some people even wanted to trash his, say, oh, Jace Richardson is a better guard than him. Man, I'm telling you, you can't teach that athleticism. I am sorry. And I'm not trying to put, too often people try to pit players against one player against the other. I'm not doing that. What I will say, though, is VJ had a great night. But speaking of Orlando, let's just zoom in on that game because that game is also done. Really quickly, Davion Mitchell had a great night tonight. Of course, the absence of Tyler Hero. I don't think Hero's going to be back until November from what I've heard. I don't know if you guys have heard the same thing. But Norman Powell, he had a great outing. Of course, we know what Norm can do. Bam Adebayo. But overall, I think, the Orlando team, and I think that they actually played in Orlando, if I'm not mistaken. They won their home opener with, the two big dogs Definitely eating. Both of them getting 17 shots, had identical points. Franz just did a little bit more of the assisting, and Paolo did a little bit more of the rebounding. Your guys' quick thoughts on that, or we can. Oh, and Suggs is healthy. I wasn't sure if he was going to be healthy. He is healthy. So they have their heart and soul, and of course, Bain 7 of 18 for 23 points. Any thoughts on that game?
I just think in this case here, I hear some of these folks in the Raptor spaces, and I think they're just underselling how good Orlando's going to be.
Yeah.
Of course, dealing with health. But if they're healthy, they're going to win 50+ games. Like Orlando is no joke, and I think tonight being a night, and Miami is still Miami. Like they're not going to, they're not going to be no easy out, folks.
No, they're my little underdog team in the East right now. I like what they have.
They do have a nice little team, man. And Spoelstra's going to coach the heck out of them, man. Like they ain't going nowhere, man.
Every time, yeah.
Every time. Like these folks thinking, the East is going to be like some cakewalk that the Raptors are going to walk in the top 6 seeds. Like, no, folks.
No. As I said,
go ahead, Coach.
So the middle of the East got better. The top of the East is still the top of the East, but the middle of the East got better.
Well, I watched the matchup just now with 2 of them right now, which you might get to at some point, which was some type of game tonight, man. In the Midwest. You better believe it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I don't think that they pulled out the game. I was kind of following that. But it ended up being –
Another man we like the draft was 2 men. We like the draft, boy, for the same team, boy, is putting up stuff.
Yes. Now, I will say Michael Porter Jr. might need to work more on his game, less on the talking and less on the podcast, because right now, just in terms of the Nets game versus the Hornets game, he did not have a good game with 5 of 15. He may need to start on that and stop talking about his brother's gambling habits. Ryan Kalkbrenner actually got the start. Second round draft pick, got the start. Good for him. Double, 10 points, 10 points and 11 rebounds.
That's Mouse Man?
That is Mouse Man.
Yeah, you want to give Mouse a show. I think he's on here.
Yep, he is on here. But here's the thing. Here is the thing, right? And I'll put it was a grade A night. Here's the thing. Con Knipple, he was okay, but Kalkbrenner, and then they got 2 other guys out there. Like, this is what I'm talking about, right? And here's the other thing that's beautiful about the Hornets. They're not coming to play. It's not preseason, it's season, and they are going with what they deem to be their best lineup. So they're not like Tijon Salon, you're going to be in the starting lineup just because. They're like, no, we're going to go with the 5 best guys, and we'll go from there and carve out some playing time. LaMelo Ball obviously getting, his it's good to see him healthy again as well, by the way. He's a talented player. He's a fun player. We'll see if he can become a winning player. But so far, they're also 1-0 on the night. Brandon Miller, kind of filling up the stat sheet there as well. I don't really feel like talking about the Nets too much unless
I'll just say Yegor played pretty well. At least numbers-wise, he played well. So
he did. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
I got to give a shout to my 2 rookies, man, for this New Orleans and Memphis game. Cedric Coward off the bench. Cedric Coward, 14 points, a plus 24 for Memphis, highest in the game, 5 of 5 from the field. And my guy Fears off the bench with 17 in a loss. But I mean, let's be clear. Memphis, John Morant had 35 tonight. Yeah. So I am really looking forward to seeing these 2 play this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fears is fearless. He had no problem.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like this. Effie say, stop the count. Stop the count.
What do you think is Vince in this case? Ring the bell. It's like Montreal, my friend.
Yeah, ring the effing bell.
Ring the bell, damn
it.
Yeah. Effie has recently moved to Florida. That's what's happened. The Bucks took care of business with that. Miles Turner continued his finals play with 4 of 12. So I'll just leave it at that. But you know what? And this is where you got to be mindful. I know Raptors think that we're gonna, it's gonna be all smooth sailing when the Bucks come to town. Giannis had 37 and 14. Like, that dude is not. He's like, okay, you signed my brothers, and I'll serve the popcorn myself.
So this is the perfect team. Going back to my Scotty comment, right? And we're gonna find out exactly what we're seeing is real or is it Memorex. right? We're gonna find out real quick.
And they're not a perfect team. They're not a perfect team. But it's a good,
Yeah, the things that give him trouble, which is like real length in the lane, and you know, and that type of size, we're gonna find out like, okay, where they're gonna force him to shoot jump shots. He ain't gonna get no ones around the hoop with those two.
Well, this is going to be a big game for Brandon Ingram and RJ Barrett, and maybe even quickly in that matter. It's going to be tough to score on Miles Turner and Giannis. I'm sorry, it's just going to be. So you need to make sure you rely on Grady. It's another person in that game you're going to need. So let's see how that works out.
So we'll just zoom on a couple more games, and then we'll head on out soon. But I'll just quickly do some housekeeping. This is, of course, really important. Number one, beyond the locker room, he has his tagline down there. Coach Roach, you follow him on Twitter. I will put his stuff in the description down below later if you're watching this later, because I know not everyone watches these things live. Sometimes people like to watch them later in the afternoon, whenever, on the bus, whatever the heck you want to watch it. But most importantly, like, comment, and subscribe if you like this type of stuff. Especially if you're watching it later, comment. If you like it now, give it a like, and subscribe. And, if you really like us, share it. Anyways, continuing on, Canadian news, of course, we have to talk about it. Also, I should give a shout out. By the way, yesterday's game was amazing. I watched it with Beyond I gave him a call. We were watching the NBC game, man. That was a tight game, man. That was good. That was good all the way to the end. But a little bit of Canadian shout out today. I know that they didn't get the win. They didn't get the W. That's be Washington. However, George, I think it's Keyshawn George or Keyshawn George, depending on, So I think I've heard people say Keyshawn, so that's why I say it. But I have no idea. I'll wait to hear from him. But in terms of him, I thought he did a really good job. Sarr stopped shooting threes as well, and he got the memo from, I don't know what did Darko just send a memo out to every big man in the league, say, hey man, we got to stop this nonsense. We got to play like real basketball here. You think about it, right? Like Darko said all the right things. No one believed it. It's like, okay, you got to pass the ball to Grady. Everyone's like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. All of a sudden, Grady gets 10 shots up. It's like, okay, all right, then we talking. Okay, so George was got 15 shots up, 21 points, seven field goal made. Love it. Obviously, I think the thing with Washington as their season goes on is I could see a team who's just on the cusp or who's looking to add some veteran leadership. Be on the lookout for Chris Middleton.
Yep,
because he might not be there. He might not be there, and he's a good player.
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? And this goes, I'm not trying to say this because RJ had a great night tonight, right? But like, this is the thing where everyone just assumes, oh, we'll just trade X player, wherever the player may be. But you got to remember, this is not a bubble, folks, right? Folks got options out there. So if you're like a team that's a contender of some sort and you want to get a guy who can give you a little punch scoring, but yet could be at least fundamentally sound defensively, I think I still kind of would prefer Middleton if I'm a contender over, say, someone like RJ or others in this case, or Zach LaVine or something.
For around
like
the same money too.
Yeah, that's why I said that's why. Yeah, Middleton is around the same money. It's like where it's like, it's like you go. So be it the Lakers or I don't know. I'm not saying the Lakers in suggestion, but just picking teams that would look for a player like that. Heck, even the black team I'm watching here is San Antonio. Like if they wanted to make a move,
he'd be a good fit. Yeah.
So again, we won't be able to cover every single game, but I do want to talk I want to zoom over to a game that's not done, and then we will finish it with Beyond. I have to pay homage to your father's team. We got to talk about the Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks.
But before we get into that,
my least favorite team. Sorry, go
on. Before we get into that, the game's not done yet, but it is getting closer and closer to the close. We do want to talk about the Utah Jazz, who I don't think that I'm not saying that they're going to be in the play-in or not, but I don't think that they're going to just tank the season. What I will say is Walker Kessler is healthy. He's had issues being in and out. Shout out to former Raptor Shvee, other dude, Bailey. Bailey is not cracking that starting lineup, Beyond.
No, he's not yet. But
Nope.
I suspect over time he will, and someone's going to get moved before maybe this trade deadline. Someone's going to get moved at some point.
I think eventually you'll just start him over Shvee at least.
Exactly. I think right now they're just playing him right, especially since he's had a few nicks in the preseason as well, summer league. I think they're just taking it very slow with him, and eventually working him in the lineup a bit more. But Utah, we said the other day, man, Utah's got a nice little team now, and I think the most part, I think Ainge is. I think he's looking for one more dude, and I think he's gonna have the type of nucleus he wants. He's waiting for this draft to get the last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, and they don't. And this draft is so deep that you don't necessarily need to. You don't need to be like top, 3 or whatever. Like there's about 9 guys in this year's draft, and so in a way, if you are, it's almost like a hint to the Raptors. If you're in the play and you drop out of the play, it's not the worst thing this year, even if you don't get lucky. But I will say this: the Clippers are I mean, let's keep it a buck. They're getting waxed. Like it's like 120 to 95. They're not coming back in this one.
No.
It's early, but I do. I mean, the way the Clippers play, you gotta ask yourself if there's like, oh, give me a break. This guy's killing me, man. Are you kidding me? Anyways, let me get that. Yeah, what the heck? The last 2 shots you just hit, you just cooking lively. Anyways,
I just do somehow.
Oh my God, you're a string, and then the 3-point shot in the air one, like you're killing me right now, man.
Yeah,
Anyways,
did you guys see Matt Ishbia? Ishbia was all.
Yeah, Bill Simmons just saved him a lot of money. Let's put it that way.
Like I don't know why he went at Bill Simmons today, and it's just like, and I look at right now, it's like, dude, the Kings are whooping you by 20 right now. Like he's just like, no, we'll be a good defensive team. It's like, dude, like you're too rich to have rabbit ears.
No, man, these guys are so sensitive with their egos, man. That's exactly the case when you see those type of dudes. And I'm going back to Clippers, speaking about rich dudes in this case here. I do wonder if we got a little bit of a hangover with all this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
a lot of distractions there.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, that's true. Maybe there was community service done today.
Oh my God.
Planting trees is tough on the knees, man.
Yeah.
Hey man, maybe Kawhi never got paid today. That's why they're not winning.
Yeah, that's right. The crypto didn't, cruise through.
Oh
boy.
The association's back.
It is bad. Malawatch is not playing tonight, so yeah. So you can see where things are actually. It's like there are certain teams where it's like, okay, when we are starting the season off, we are being serious. We're not trying. Throughout, things will shift. Guys will play. We'll see about the Portland Trailblazers, who I think will be all right.
Just the Malawatch part. They have 4 centers in Phoenix. 4. They got Mark Williams.
Yeah, he's not a center because he's not healthy, man.
Still, Mark Williams, he is a starting caliber center, I guess, in the league. Nick Richards has been a starting center in the league. They got Iguodaro, who was their big draft pick a couple of years ago, who plays a lot. And they got Malawatch. That's a terrible setup for a guy like Malawatch, who's a top 10 pick, which only Mark Williams, I think, was at one time. He might even 10 or 11 or something like that. I don't like that development trajectory for Malawatch if he's going to be an assistant with 4 other centers.
Oh, you know what? Before we get to the Knicks, I forgot to say the Temple has a new coach.
Yeah, I was thought when you mentioned Toronto stuff or Canadian stuff, I thought.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
A champion too.
Yeah,
championship coach.
Yeah. Which does go back to the point. I think going back to the Raptors, it's a very similar mentality. Where Temple might be telling you, like, we ain't trying to be your typical expansion team. We saw what Golden State did. We ain't trying to go down this path. You pick a coach like that, you ain't looking to quote develop. like you going out there looking for guns ablazing. Like you looking to get some players. So that was very exciting to see today. But I guess back the association. I'm not sure you're ready for the Knicks discussion just yet, but I see Portland leading. Portland leads at halftime. It's early still against Minnesota.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Portland. The sale their team being sold at a $4.25 billion valuation. The thing that's interesting about that is that they're going to have the sale occur, like the shares are going to vest over years. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Knicks, though, and then close it out. I'll say this, someone else mentioned this point. I thought, that's fair. Mike Brown is a really good offensive coach at times, with his Princeton offense, although I think it's a little bit outdated. But he did learn a couple things in Golden State, and I think he's a decent coach at getting guys to play, a more upbeat style of offense. The problem is that when your point guard is your point guard, it is what it is. I mean, Brunson, 5 of 18. Yikes. He did get to the line 13 times. My guess is, looking at the usage for this game, is going to be a lot of Brunson. Too much Brunson. And Cat did not play well today. Now, the Knicks did win, but let's keep in mind the Cavs are going to be they'll be strong. But once again, the guy, I like him, but it's hard to argue in favor of trying to target this guy in a trade because he's always injured. Darius Garland, once again, is not healthy to start the season.
And he just said the other day on a podcast talking about, he thought we would have gotten the finals or won the finals if I wasn't hurt, which I kind of chuckled. I chuckle a little bit, but that's like, literally Kevin Durant literally went out pod to like, dude, man, everyone's going to pick on you, dude. What are you talking about? And I'm sure the Knicks had tonight, they would have gone at him too. As far as Mike Brown goes, Mike Brown has offenses that suit small point guards. Like, do you want to get some of your best seasons? Kyrie's had some of his best seasons under a Mike Brown offense. Fox had his all-star year under Mike Brown. So if you want to get yourself, in this case here, get numbers up as a ball-dominant point guard, hey, man, Mike Brown was your man. So to your point, that usage rate, it's gonna be an overdrive.
I'm curious to see how this is going to work out with Cat, though, because Cat, at the end of the day, he's like, I don't even know how I fit in this offense. I'm like, you don't hear that from Cat. But OG tonight.
OG's the man going to like that a lot, man. Because
he might get tonight.
He got a lot of shots up tonight.
He was their best player tonight.
Right. Wingman get a lot of shots up in Mike Brown offense, too. So he got a lot of fun with that.
No doubt. I don't know if there's any other thing that you guys want to talk about before we get out of here.
No, I just want to mention, man, listen, another guy we gave shouts to, both of them in this case here. I mentioned it kind of briefly. Pistons, Bulls, great game, by the way. I watched the last big quarter of that. But Buzelis and even Holland, them dudes, they for real. They for real, okay? Yeah. Them boys hungry, okay? Gosh, the opportunities we have.
I think it's the only thing about the Pistons is it's a real shame that it's one thing if Duncan Robinson right now at his stage of his career is coming off the bench, but if you have to have him in the starting lineup because of the whole Malik Beasley situation, or even the fact that Jaden Ivey just got injured to start the season, like those two things hurt you because, I think some people overrate Malik Beasley, but Malik Beasley can play, and I think he's a much more well-rounded player than a Duncan Robinson. They're probably going to end up having to elevate Karis LeVert, is my guess. Awesome. But they probably at the same time you want to keep him kind of not there. You kind of want to keep him more so off the bench to keep the bench have some sort of offensive creator, so to speak.
Hey man, I love me some Ivy as a Pistons fan, but he's in a bit of a precarious situation because if Holland keeps playing like this and Thompson keeps going the way he was planning to go, all of a sudden now it gets very interesting all of a sudden because Holland looks like he's going to be a pretty good defender too. So the two-way element, if his offense comes around and he's still playing with that aggressively on defense, now certain things start happening, for Ivy where you're not saying, I'm not saying you want as many good players as possible, but he could be a little more expendable for some other possibilities because I think Detroit needs to get a bit bigger.
I agree.
Yeah. And circling back to the Raptors, I don't know if you want to land on this, though.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned about my man right now, man. I'm not sure.
Say, I don't think you want to. I don't think you want to talk about, the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
So sorry. Yeah, continue.
It's early, as they say, but it's early.
It is early, and he's still 11 of 17, man.
Yeah,
31 points, 10 rebounds. The night is young.
A couple things. That's one issue. It's already on one side of the ball. On the other side of the ball,
my goodness, man.
I think the guys on the halftime show were talking about this. I didn't get the number 1 pick overall for the guy to be a stand-up shooter in this case and be a clone Klay Thompson. Like, what the hell are we doing out here?
Hey, he has a shot from 3. It's just, so I
He
will say that.
standing in the corner in some of the possessions. There's one possession where they have the camera. I can't even find him until they panned out. He's at the bottom corner of the 3-point line. Like, what are we doing?
Maybe they want Darren Peterson.
Gosh.
This will be sorted out next week or so. That's all I got to say.
Oh, it will be. It will be.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that when you're doing that, you're not using his gifts how it should be.
Like, here he's sitting down in the corner for speaking.
Yep. And then you know what's going to happen? Anthony Davis is like, I don't get the ball. And there's one dude that actually gets him the ball really well.
Oh, sorry. I'm just Reese's last comment here.
I'm not putting that up on the screen. Sorry.
Like the white flag. Oh, my God.
It's gonna be all right, man. But we got to sort some things out, kid. We got to sort some stuff out there. But on the other side of things too, just go at the black team for a second. Yeah, I mean, we knew Wemby. We knew this. The inevitable was coming, and it seems like it is here. I will say this. I will say this though. My man Castle, boy, just sitting there underrated, and my man Castle doing real work out there quietly, man. 13, 6, and 5. I'm a steal. Yeah, man. Castle's a serious man. I'm just like here going like, boy, if there's a trade opportunity, that's all I got to say. But yeah, but really going back to the Raptors about, okay, is there gonna be a Jacoby question at some point?
I avoided it today because but number one, okay, you always bring up guys' injuries, and I think it's a little bit unfair early on. He's been very knick-knacky throughout his short tenure on the Raptors. So that's the first thing is can he maintain health? Now other guys have been as well, but he needs to be especially so. Grady has had a really good start for the season and the preseason as well. And I think that there's an MO to get him the ball. And I think that there's an understanding that like, okay, we waste a lot of developmental years on other guys. This is one of our best developmental projects. Just from an offensive standpoint, this might sound bold to some. He's probably your second most offensive gifted player in terms of potential-wise on this roster, not named Brandon Ingram. And Brandon Ingram's done with his potential in terms of that. Yes. So really, he could be a better offensive player than RJ. He'd be a better offensive. He is probably just overall in terms of how, his ability to shoot and stuff like that. He has a much wider array of being able to make movement shots than Scotty Barnes. If anyone wants to argue that Scotty Barnes is a movement shooter, please, you're going to make me drink myself to something, okay? Because that is just madness.
I'm just sitting in my head now trying to see Scotty as a movement shooter.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see Scotty like
lumbering around the pick.
No, thank you. That is not his game.
No, we had the Scotty game tonight. That's fine.
That is the Scotty game. That is how Scotty thrives. That is how you to give for Jericho to give you your shot. That's the Scotty agenda, right? But in terms of being a potential 3-level scorer, a guy who could basically potentially shoot 50, 40, 90 down the road, Grady's the man. And if he's doing that, and RJ's playing the way that he does, and he's able to finish better around the hoop, there's going to be an odd man out. Now, Ochai is it, but there's still going to be a bit of a logjam potentially. We'll see, but it does make it harder for Jacoby. Now, I think Jacoby wins the battle out, but the minutes will be crunched down is what you're saying. I'm not
considering Ochai in this case here, because even if Ochai gets moved, Darko might just move to a 9-man rotation. Yeah, and just play like Ingram with the second unit, which played very well tonight with Ingram.
Yeah, because because the thing is you could technically get Jacoby as a 3, but he's more of a 2.
Yeah, right. So why not just instead, what's your term, Lark, in this case, and just get the real thing? just play 9 dudes. Like that's a possibility. And I mean, I liked how I saw for Ingram and Grady in the preseason, and it seems like it's still playing out that way.
Yes.
And I think where Ingram kind of puts on his playmaking hat with Grady a little bit more. And, flag missed the bunny. Ugh, this is like the worst opening. I get heartburn. You're gonna watch one get heartburn right now, right in front of you, live, live right now.
And I'll also just to finish up the point, I think when CMB gets in the mix, like I said before, his minutes are going to be there because there's 2 wings on that he needs to eat some time, really.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to get about 20 to 25-ish minutes a night very easily without any injuries being there. The minutes are going to be there. So
the front court's covered. Like said, when I say so, I'm assuming CMB's already there with Mamu, and then afterwards you're going to get Grady. And then Shed, and then who's that 5th dude, right? The 5th dude in this case right now is Ochai. But if they trade Ochai, it doesn't mean necessarily that Walter's going to get that spot. It might just go to Ingram. And he seems to like play Ingram with the second unit.
Exactly. It's like if they are actually, say, hunting for the 6th seed down the road.
Right. That's a natural thing, right?
Darko's looking like, man, I got to get an extension.
Yeah. A 9-man rotation, a normal rotation in the NBA, right? Like you usually have one starter with the bench, so it's more like 10 men playing like a hockey line is not natural usually for most NBA teams.
Yeah, but I think Scotty played the most minutes, which was 32 minutes tonight. Like the minutes amongst the starters actually were they were set out pretty evenly, which was good to see. Nobody was playing an absurd amount of minutes. Like 38 minutes or something like that. I think Scotty hit the most. Brandon Ingram played 27 minutes. Mind you, he didn't play much in the 4th quarter just because of the way the game went. And you couldn't have asked for a better game for a home opener all around in terms of minutes, but also execution tonight.
Right. Someone asked about how many bench points. I just did quick math. In this case, I got 48 right now for the bench.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, I don't have it up in front of me, but I know Grady had almost half of them by himself.
Yeah, which is a gaudy number. So 48, you're getting like 50 points from the bench. That's some crazy stuff right there. So like,
they were saying like, oh, can I think it was the Raptors Republic guys were talking about, oh, can they get up to like
4 response?
That's
pretty much it. Like, you get numbers like that where it's 48 points that are in a bench.
Yes. Yeah, I think like the Raptors Republic guys were saying like, can they get up to 35 points? I think the interesting thing, to your point, the guy that they keep kind of nitpicking and dissing at, and I've even seen it a lot. I'll just call them straight up. Not you, 401, but a lot of Scotty fans seem to like make digs at Grady. It's like, dude, I'm sorry, it ain't quickly. You guys keep trying to build this quickly. Like Grady, GD is the key. He is the key. This man is the key. If you want good 3-point shooting, he's the key. You want a good thing, he's the man.
Kenyon, man. You got Kenyon out here just saying all sort of blasphemy. This kid just angry with the nonsense y'all talking about.
No, but I will.
No, I appreciate the righteous anger, man. I love it. You're right.
It's just nonsense. It's like, oh man, it's like, oh, well, Scotty's the best 3-point shooter on the team. It's like, what the heck is going on, bro? Like, y'all okay?
Where's the beam?
You know what? I don't know. I think Raptor fans are allergic to talent. I really think so. I really feel that's the case. I think that I told you guys years ago that there's a very Toronto mentality that they want the guys with the lunch pails with the hard hat guys. That is who they like. They don't see appreciate talent for stars. I said so years ago. It is built in the Toronto DNA. They would rather root for Ty Domi a million times over than Matt Sundin. That's how this Toronto world thinks about when it comes to sports fandom. All the time. So Grady Dick, God forbid, a guy in this case could be a potential 3-level scorer and shoot like 90% from the free throw line. No, we don't want that. No. In this case, give us more grunt workers in this case here to go and bang around for a little bit. That's what we want.
Also, stop being fans of a specific player. Be a fan of a damn team, man. Like, I'm sorry. I'm a Raptor fan, first and foremost. I'm not putting no one above the team. I ain't putting Grady, ain't putting CMB, ain't nothing. All these people say, oh, no. I want the team. And if that means that the team has to take a step back to be good down the road, that's fine. I'm cool with it. But the team. And today, the team understood that. and that was
Yeah.
good. And I hope that continues. I will not be doing a post-game live after next game because I am sorry, but I am going to be way more focused on more important games than the second thing.
Yeah, we'll be down the street, man. We'll be down the street.
I'm not trying to pull like what was it, Andrew Cuomo say? I'm gonna spend half my time at the Yankees and then go to the Knicks game. No, I made my choice.
You running for mayor too?
No, but I probably do a better job than him.
You probably would.
That dude could not answer a single question. Oh my goodness. Anyways, folks, because we're talking about this, you know what time it is. That means it's time to go. So like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get out of here. Take care, people, and peace. Peace.
Oh my gosh.